Restricting cryptocurrency trading in Nigeria's best interest, says Emefiele. NEBSA urges CBN to expedite approval for offshore banking. Oil slips after U.S. crude stocks rise amid deep freeze heat to refiners. On Business Express today, we shall be focusing on achieving food security in Nigeria. Details of these and more on Business Express on the network service of the NTA. We are reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Musa Abubakar. Now let's bring you up to speed with business development. President Muhammadu Buhari says his administration's ambitious policy of lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty did not come by accident, rather a deliberate undertaking that will be pursued with remarkable grit and determination. Exchanging views with members of the Presidential Economic Advisory Council, the President, however, maintains that the country requires a poverty reduction strategy that will usher in a rapid, sustained and inclusive economic growth. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
The Presidential Economic Advisory Council, led by Professor Doyin Salami, was in the State House to present its report on National Poverty Reduction Strategy. President Muhammadu Buhari requested the Council to submit the document containing implementation plan to the Federal Executive Council on Wednesday in furtherance of its consultative process for national growth and development. He agreed with the Council that a program of lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty is challenging but achievable. The President wondered what became of the nation in the past, that with all the resources available to it, no such coordinated and holistic agenda on poverty reduction was ever contemplated. The chairman of the Council, Professor Doyin Salami, had told the President that the National Poverty Reduction Plan has so far gained an overwhelming approval of stakeholders from across the country and beyond. He welcomed Nigeria's exit from recession, but cautioned that the strength of the economic growth must be driven in a way that it will overtake population growth. The poverty reduction strategy, as presented, requires the nation to aim at raising agricultural productivity towards addressing the wide disparity among states and the regions in the distribution of poverty, ensuring macroeconomic stability and promoting industrialization. The strategy, he explained, benefited from extensive consultations amongst all stakeholders in both the public and private sectors towards achieving ownership and sustainability. Professor Salami said this is the first time efforts are being intensified towards consolidating on the achievements of the past and avoiding past mistakes. Poverty reduction, he emphasized, must not be left to the federal government alone and suggested the setting up of a National Council on Poverty Reduction, a proposal accepted by the President.
The Central Bank of Nigeria explains its decision to hold financial institutions from transacting in cryptocurrencies at the joint session of the Senate Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions Tuesday. Comfort Amadou has details.
The Securities and Exchange Commission says it is committed to enhancing financial inclusion in the country via technology. Director General of the SEC, Lamido Yuguda, stated this at the joint session of the Senate Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions, Capital Markets and ICT and Cybercrime in Abuja.
We believe that fintech will not only bring efficiency to the capital market, but will also serve as a veritable tool for advancing Nigeria's financial inclusion agenda. However, there is a need to develop an appropriate regulatory framework to ensure the safety of innovation to investors and preserve market integrity.
On ban on cryptocurrencies, the central bank governor, Godwin Emefiele, while briefing the committee, revealed the Apex Bank has commenced further investigation into the activities of cryptocurrencies, which he insists is being used to facilitate money laundering, scam, and a means which kidnappers receive ransom, as well as an instrument used to finance terrorism, not just in Nigeria, but in other climes as well.
For avoidance of doubt, we have tasked our banking supervision, our payment system, and our IT departments to conduct a thorough investigation into the activities of current exchanges and their major players. The result of the investigation will lead to better understanding of the activities and may be unveiled to all in due course.
The chairman of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, Professor Bolaji Owasonye, said virtual assets and cryptocurrencies are risky for implementation in Nigeria as it poses serious legal and law enforcement risk to the country.
Much recently, cryptocurrencies played an active role in the NSAS protests. Those who made contributions did not want to be opaque. So the question that we should ask ourselves is, how prepared are we to be able to protect Nigeria and Nigerians from the damage or the risk that cryptocurrencies pose to us? So I think we have to make haste slowly and look at our own vulnerability.
The US dollar slipped to 3-year lows against the British pound and antipodium currencies on Wednesday as the promise of extended easy monetary conditions globally boosted investor appetite for riskier assets. Let's now see how much the Naira is exchanging for other currencies. Developing a sustainable food system has never been more urgent and important than now due to the challenges of population growth, poverty, COVID-19 and economic fallout, hence the partnership with all stakeholders in achieving food security. This was the submission of the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, at Nigeria UN Food System Summit Inception Dialogue. Haman Jabani reports.
The Inception National Dialogue is aimed at identifying food system challenges from multiple perspectives that will provide unique opportunity to re-evaluate how to engage, manage, govern, and use food systems effectively for efficient, resilient, and sustainable food production. This is what Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo believes can resolve the problem of malnutrition and unhealthy diet and create unique threat to health.
Also questions around ensuring environmentally sustainable production practices, creating empowering jobs and livelihoods, and building capacities to ensure sustainable and healthy food systems. Now, these issues require expertise and experience, but also the views of those who will literally be at the receiving end of these plans.
Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, who spoke extensively on the national policy on food and nutrition, said the food system is part of the government plan to achieve Mid-Term Development Plan 2050.
This is happening through the adoption, but also domestication of policies and costed strategic plans, which emphasize increased reliance on domestic funding and a well-coordinated multi-sectoral and multi-stakeholder approach comprising of government, civil society organizations, private sectors, as well as donors.
The United Nations says the dialogue will also enhance food security and sustainability of eco-based agriculture and food system around the world by 2030.
And joining the program via telephone to take a critical look on how food security can further achieve and sustain in Nigeria is Executive Director, National Agricultural Extension Research and Liaison Services, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, Professor Mohammed Kali Uthman. Sir, you're welcome to Business Express.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, how would you analyze or describe the nation's food security or economic growth?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, let us quickly understand when we talk about food security, what is it all about? And food security has, of course, a lot of definition depending on what is the objective for what the program that is going to be implemented. But basically, food security exists when all people at all times have physical and economic access to sufficient, safe and nutritious food that meets their dietary needs for active and healthy lifestyle. So with this very simple definition, we can understand that food security has three major components. One, the food is safe, healthy and nutritious, of nutritional value. Two, the food is quantitative enough to meet a healthy and active lifestyle. And three, the food is available and accessible to all at all times. In Nigeria, from 1960 to date, there have been several programs and projects aimed at achieving food security in this country. You can think of Operation Feed the Nation, Green Revolution, creation of River Basin Development Authority, establishment of agricultural development programs at Green Alternative and several others. But the question is, have we achieved food security? The answer is a emphatic no. We're not being able to achieve food security because after today there are a lot of people that find it very difficult to have enough food.
Okay, can you say we are on the right track towards achieving food security and economic growth?
Yes, I would say that we are on the right track, but a lot needs to be done. As you can see...
What are those things that need to be done?
Yes. The first thing is that most of the issues that we are talking when we are talking about agriculture, agriculture is on concurrent list. But you find that a lot is being done by federal government, while the state governments are actually not doing much. The much is, if they can do more, definitely there's a lot that can be achieved. So there are several challenges, and one of the challenge is the low investment in agriculture. You know, if you look at the last 10 years budget in this country, there was never a time we have ever, invested up to 50 budgeted 5% of our total budget for agriculture. So, and even the Maputo declaration that was signed by, African government in 2004 or so, we said that all the governments will be investing into agriculture with a budget of 10% per annum. So with this low investment, you find that there's no way, we can really fare very well. So that is the area. And that area is one, the state government has to actually wake up. If the state government are doing what the federal government is doing, then we can see tangible, achievement. But most of the programs that are coming are being implemented by federal government, or have been proposed or by federal government have been implemented by federal government. And as you should know, federal government has no farmers. All Nigerians belong to, to Nigerians, but every local government, every farmer has a local government and has a state. So that means that if federal government is also implementing programs, it has to implement programs in the different states. So the question now is, where are the states not coming up to really be doing what the federal government is doing? And that is one area that we have a lot of issues.
Now among the various federal government intervention programs, which one do you think needs to be strengthened more?
Okay, thank you very much. One of the programs right now the federal government is promoting is what is called National Agricultural Technology and Innovation Plan for 2020 to 2023. And this particular, program is a program that actually was developed based on all the previous programs that were, implemented in this country. So if these programs are going to be implemented, definitely we are going to make a lot of headway because the programs have many components. We have agricultural knowledge creation and transfer. What it means is that we are going to support the research. And let me tell you that apart from the fact that agriculture is receiving very lean budget, but research is receiving even the least, in agriculture. So, and without research, there's no way you can create enough, innovations to be able to see that you transfer that innovation for users. Then there's also issue of rural access to mechanization. That is very important. Why is it that today in Nigeria you find that the average farmer is about 47 years of age? Many young men are shying away from farming. And why they are shying away from farming? Because of the drudgery involved. So we need to also promote mechanization and make it available to people who want to go into farming. Then there's also the most important again is having comprehensive essential services. So this program that the federal government is promoting, I believe has a component that addresses essential services. Because you see, if you look at the essential services, they are the agent of technology transfer for utilization by farmers. But if they are not being funded, and almost all of them are under state governments. So since the state government is not giving the desired support to agriculture, then you find that a lot of them are not actually performing very well. So
okay. Professor, let me come in. Nigeria will be participating in the forthcoming UN Food System Summit. Where should be the country's focus?
Yeah, this is quite very important. The country's focus now is achievement of food security, because that is very fundamental. Secondly, the diversification of the economy that we're talking about, and agriculture should be given the desired support, because agriculture has potential to employ more than 80% of Nigerians. When you look at all the value chain from production to processing to utilization, you find that a lot of Nigerians can be able, especially now that we are talking about unemployment in this country. So where we can generate employment, that people need not to come to urban areas, can stay where they are in their rural areas, is in agriculture. So I think there's need for us as a nation to double effort to mobilize the state, to mobilize the local government, and see how we can invest more in agriculture, and then support all agricultural research institutes. We have a very good structure that can assure you that if we can give Nigeria can produce enough food to give to the whole of Africa, because Nigeria is so blessed with a lot of resources, agricultural resources. We are talking of land, we are talking of water. In the land we have 91 million acres of land.
I'm afraid, Professor, we'll have to leave it there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Mohammed Kali Uthman with Abu Zaria.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, the Nigeria Shippers Council, NSC, and the National Insurance Company of Nigeria, NICON, have finalized measures to curb the loss of about 670 million naira suffered by shippers in the country over failure to return empty containers within the time specified by shipping lines. Shippers pay container deposit to shipping lines, namely 300,000 naira for 40-foot container or 150,000 naira for a 20-foot container. However, the shipper forfeits the deposit if the container is not returned to the shipping line within the grace period, which is usually 2 to 3 weeks. The Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer, CEO of the Nigerian Shippers Council, Hassan Bello, explained that NICON and the Council have been meeting to strategize on the best way to curb the huge revenue loss incurred by shippers via container deposits. He added that the plan is to make importers pay a token to insurance companies, which will, in turn, ensure that the importers' empty containers are returned to the shipping company. Nigeria Export Processing Zones (NEPZA) has urged the Central Bank of Nigeria to fast-track approval for the establishment of offshore banking to enhance the operation of free trade zones of the country. The Managing Director, Chief Executive, Nigeria Export Processing Zones, Professor Adesoji Adeshuba, who stated this in Kano, emphasized the challenge of accessing foreign exchange faced by operators in the zones as a result of absence of offshore banking, soliciting the intervention of the government for approval to be given without further delay. He said the authority is in touch with the CBN committee, saddled with the responsibility of ensuring that the offshore banking comes to fruition. In a statement by Head Corporate Communications, NEPZA, Martins Orde, NEPZA's chief executive said the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement presented the country with an exceptional lifeline to reboot its economy. He added that there was no better time to take advantage of the lofty opportunities provided by the agreement for countries in Africa to seamlessly trade among themselves. Well, now let's turn our attention to the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Well, the Nigerian Stock Exchange has closed the day's trading 0.14%. As you can see, the all-share index completes the session 40,221.30. 469.5 million shares valued at 7.080 billion naira. Exchange hands in 5,470 deals. Market capitalization stands at 21.043 trillion naira. The most active shares are Zenith Bank, Guarantee Trust Bank, and FBN Holdings. Now, shares trade mix in Asia Pacific as investors turn cautious, NTA reports.
Tunisia's Tunedex posted losses amidst positive gains from South Africa's JSE Africa Top 40, Nairobi All Share, Namibia Overall Index, and Ghana GSE Composite. Stocks traded mostly lower across Asia Pacific markets on Wednesday as investors turned cautious. Japanese markets returned to trade after being short for a public holiday on Tuesday. The Nikkei 225 fell 1.61% at 29,671.70, while the Shanghai Composite declined 1.99%. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index tumbled nearly 3%, trade dropping 2.99% to 29,718.24. European stocks inched higher in early trade Wednesday. The Pan-European Stock 600 gained 0.4%. Britain's FTSE 100 was the only major index in negative territory, weighed down by a strengthening of the pound. In the U.S., the Dow Jones Industrial Average bounced back from steep losses and closed the session in the green on Tuesday, but picked up slowly Wednesday. That's Global Markets. I'm Neka Oko.
Now, this is where we end this episode of the program. Don't forget you can access this and all previous episodes on YouTube, and you can also communicate with us on Twitter, and the handle is NTA News Now. The hashtag is BizX. We value your feedback. Do join us again on Thursday at 9:30 a.m. for another package. I am Musa Abubakar saying, while staying safe, keep thinking and doing business.